I don't know anybody who thinks about lead magnets for web design in the same way that I do. And it might not be for you, but I'm Lee Blue. I'm the founder of DoubleStack, where I personally mentor some of today's top-earning web designers. And this is the way that we use lead magnets to land $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 clients. So see what you think, because I feel like a lot of web designers fall off the rails on one of two sides. Either they think, well, web design doesn't really fit for lead magnets, and therefore I'm not going to do it at all. Or on the other side, it's like, well, yeah, I do want to use lead magnets, and I'm going to treat my web design lead magnets in the same way that other industries do their lead magnets, which is essentially like, let me give you a free taste of what it's like to work with me, and then if you like it, you can then buy more of it. Because that's the traditional approach, right? But I just feel like that's missing the boat with regard to web design lead magnets. Like a traditional lead magnet would be, like if you were a web designer kind of doing the traditional approach, you might say something like, let me do an SEO audit for you. And then if you like the problems that I've found and feel like you really want to fix it, then you can hire me to fix it. Or download this template, like these Instagram templates that I've designed. And if you like that design, then you can hire me to design more stuff for you. And so that's an example of like, here's a little taste of what I can do. And if you like it, buy more of it. But the problem with that is like, what if they don't like the taste? Like, what if they don't like that thing? Like, what if they're like, yeah, I'm not even on Instagram. Or like maybe you had Facebook templates. Like, yeah, I'm not really using Facebook anymore. Or like the SEO audit thing. It's like a lot of people are going to think, well, even if my SEO stinks, I don't want you to like come tell me I've got all these problems and I got to spend a lot of money to fix it. And I don't really even care about SEO on my website that much anyway, because maybe I feel like I'm getting all my leads through social media or something like that. And so I'm not interested in the lead magnet, and therefore I'm not interested in you. And I feel like that's such a terrible problem because, I mean, I guarantee like if you're anything like me, you probably can do a ton of things. And if you just pull one thing out of your hat and say, hey, do you want this? And someone says no, does that mean they don't want anything that you have to offer? I think that's crazy. But that's where web design differs from a lot of other types of industries, where if it's in other industries, if it's a more narrow type of an offer, then it really does work. Like say you're doing like a software as a service, like a SaaS business, and you have like a 1 week free trial. It's like, well, if you like the free trial, then you'd probably like to do it for more than a week, right? But if you didn't like the free trial, you would never want to do it for more than a week. And so, but taking that framework and moving it on to web design, where we have such a vast array of ways that we can support and help people, it just doesn't match, doesn't fit. Like think about anything else that you might subscribe to that's more in the context of web design, like the vast array of things. Like say you were thinking about maybe subscribing to Netflix or something. And I said, hey, they've got this one movie on Netflix. Do you want to watch this movie? And you might like, hey, I don't really like that movie. I don't want to watch it. Does that mean you don't want to subscribe to Netflix at all? Or like, what if I say, what if you subscribe to Spotify? Do you want to listen to the song? He's like, well, I don't really like that kind of music. I don't like that song. Therefore, I don't want to subscribe to Spotify. Like nobody would do that. Or like your iPhone. It's like, do you use all the features in your iPhone? What if I mentioned a feature that you're not that interested in, like that bump to share contacts thing? It's like most people don't even know about that. And so if you said, well, I don't really need that feature, I don't go to a lot of networking events, I don't want to do the bump to share my contact information, therefore I don't want a phone, an iPhone. And so I think that's the problem with web designers and lead magnets, is like you offer some small thing, and then if people don't want that thing, it invalidates the whole relationship. And I don't really even care if the people that I'm talking to want the lead magnet, because I'm not using it as a free taste to get more of that same thing. I'm just using the lead magnet to unlock a conversation. It's just a key that opens a door to a conversation. It's like an icebreaker. My lead magnets are icebreakers, not free trials. And I think once you get that point, like once you realize it's not mandatory for the person you're talking to want the lead magnet in order for them to want to work with you, it opens up so many possibilities to work with people that otherwise it might seem like they're saying no. And I think that's a huge thing. It's such a big, big deal. All I want to do with the lead magnet is open a conversation and listen to someone talk to me so I can detect if they have a problem that I can solve. Right? So like that, going into it, what that means is I sort of need to know the outcomes I'm able to create. So like part of what we do in DoubleStack is we create this thing called an outcome stack, which is like a big list of things that you know how to solve and fix. And you talk about it in terms of the outcome or the result that the client gets. And so I just want the client to talk to me, and I want to listen for stuff like, oh, it sounds like they're not getting the traffic they need for their website. Or maybe they are getting the traffic, but the traffic's not really converting into leads. Or maybe they are getting the leads, but it's from the wrong audience. Or maybe competition is moving in and they feel like they're being overshadowed by the new competition. They really need to stand out in a new way. And so I'm trying to listen for the problems. And so I want them to tell me what the problem is so that I can then determine whether or not I really can help and serve. And it sometimes is the case, like I think we talked about maybe last week, that sometimes it's the case that somebody mentions a problem that I can't solve, and that's fine. It's like I can't solve everybody's problems, but I can definitely solve some people's problems, and I just want them to tell me what they feel like is an issue in their business, like what's performing in their business that's not performing at the level that they want right now, and then I'll listen for that and see if I can solve it. And if I can, then that's a huge thing, even if they don't want my lead magnet. So if, say, for example, I offer them the Google review app I talk about all the time. I've got this little mobile app where a business owner can just send a review link from their phone with like a click of a button, and then the business owner's customers can then like write reviews on Google and stuff. Like I'll offer the Google review app to some people, and they might say, hey, we're already doing something for managing our reviews. Does that mean that they don't need anything else? They don't need a website. They don't need social media. They don't need to run ads. They don't need an email list. They don't need to nurture the leads. They don't need landing pages. We haven't even talked about any of that stuff, right? And so just because they feel like they don't want to use my Google review app, does that mean the deal's off? Does that mean there's nothing I can do? You see what I mean? Like I don't really care if they want the lead magnet. I'm just using it to open the conversation. And so if I say, hey, you want to use this Google review app? And then they say, hey, we're already using a service to help manage our reviews. Then I'll say, oh, well, I want to let them know 3 things. The point of opening the conversation is to like share with the person that I'm talking to 3 things. The first thing is I want them to know who I specialize in working with. And so part of that is going to be to let them know, I specialize in working with local service businesses. I help generate leads from within driving distance of your location through online marketing. And so I've got an audience, which is local service businesses. I've got a result, lead generation, and I've got a tactic, which is online marketing. And you can remember, it's like ART, audience, result, and tactic. So in the conversation that I'm having, I'm sharing those 3 things. But I'm doing it by way of questions, not by just like bombarding them with a bunch of words. And so I'll ask them questions like, well, okay, even though you're already using something for getting your reviews, well, do you feel like you could use more leads? Like, are you looking for more leads right now, or do you generally find that you're fully booked? And then a lot of people are going to say, well, we're not fully booked. We could definitely use some more leads. How can you help? And they might even ask about my services or my pricing or something like that. But I'm not going to tell them my services and pricing yet because I don't know what the problem is, right? All they said is they need more leads. And so I'm going to say, oh, well, if you're looking for more leads, what have you been trying? Like, have you been trying something that hasn't worked yet? Or do you feel like you're just kind of totally stuck and you're not really sure what to do next at all in the first place? And that's such a great question to ask because sometimes people are like, yeah, we've been running these Facebook ads and we're getting all these clicks and spending all this money, but we're not getting anything out of it. I just feel like I'm throwing money away. Or they might say something like, well, I don't even know how to start the ad manager. Like, it's totally overwhelming for me to log in and try to run an ad. I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm completely stuck. Those are 2 totally separate issues, right? So if I haven't heard them say one or the other, and I just jump out and say I know how to do something, I'm almost guaranteed to have that same problem where I offer a small little thing and they're gonna say, hey, I don't really want that little thing, therefore I don't want you. And so I'm not doing the free trial to paid service kind of lead magnet concept. I'm just opening the door to have a conversation to see what's going on in their business so then I can listen for the problem. And then here's where the real gold comes in. Once I hear what the problem is and I know that it's specific, like I need more leads, we're not getting the traffic that we want, I feel totally stuck. It's not like I've tried something that isn't working. It's just like I don't even know how to start. Like once I kind of get down into the really specific example of what this one person is experiencing, then I can offer a call. So the lead magnet opens this conversation, and it doesn't even have to be long. Like I'm talking about like a 1-minute conversation, maybe 2 minutes. I'm not talking about the 30-minute kind of sit down thing. I'm trying to set up a 30-minute sit down thing with this lead magnet by opening the conversation. So what I'll do when I'm offering the call is I'll say, well, hey, let me look at your website. I'll take a look at your Google business profile. I'll take a look at what's going on. And then why don't we set up a Zoom call where you can just tell me everything about what you've tried and what you feel like isn't working at the level that you want. I'll be prepared by having looked at what's going on already. And then by the end of the call, you're going to have a really clear step-by-step roadmap for what you need to focus on first, right? And so what I'm doing with the call is I'm selling the call itself, right? Like I'm not selling my services right now. I'm selling the call. And it's so tempting. I know it's like stressful and it's hard, but it's so worth learning to do, which is not pouncing on the sale immediately. Like just open the conversation, hear what the person's problem is, offer to support them. I'm not going to charge for this call. It's not even a discovery call. It's just, I want to hear what's going on so that I can then diagnose the problem. And once I do that, then I can offer a prescription. So it's like going to the doctor. Like imagine if you went to the doctor and the doctor just started doing things to you before you had a chance to even tell him what the problem was. Or even worse, imagine if you went to the doctor and you started telling the doctor what to do to you, before the doctor even knew what was going on. So I feel like all of that is completely messed up, but a lot of web designers treat themselves in this weird way where they either immediately try to prescribe something to fix someone's problem before you even know what it is, or you wait for the other person, wait for the patient to tell the doctor what to do. And I feel like both of those pathways lead to high stress, low budget clients, if you get any clients at all. Whereas this particular approach, where you're just using the lead magnet to open the doors like an icebreaker, and then you hear what the problem is, and then you sell the call itself. And by selling the call itself, what I mean is by the end of the actual call, you will know this thing. You don't have to hire me, you don't have to pay anything, but just by the end of the call, you'll have this outcome. And then you get on the call and give them that outcome. And then at the end of that call, you can move on to saying, well, if you like that outcome, I can do more of it. But here's what the big difference is. You already know what the problem is. You've built rapport, you've given for free, you've developed reciprocity. All of this stuff is working in your favor by the time you get to the end of the call. So now you literally can say, if you like what we did on this call, now you can get more of it. Right? But the big difference is you're on point with the free taste. You see what I mean? In the beginning, if you're just reaching out saying, hey, try this free taste. I have no idea what you want. I have no idea who you are. You have no idea who I am. I'm just offering you this free thing. There's a small chance they might want it. Maybe even a medium-sized chance if you've done a good job with your targeting. But it's certainly not a lock. You don't really know. And so even if they don't want the initial thing that you've offered, it doesn't mean that it's a bad client. It doesn't mean that it's a bad fit. It doesn't mean that you should give up. And I think that's such a huge thing because so many people just give up on leads so early because they're like, well, they didn't want my small thing. They didn't want my SEO audit or my website audit or my free templates or whatever. And therefore they don't want anything that I have to offer. And that's crazy. It's just as crazy as saying, I don't like one movie that's on Netflix and therefore I'm not going to subscribe to the whole service. Or I don't like one song on Spotify, therefore I'm not going to subscribe to the whole service. So if you go too soon, if you're prematurely disqualifying yourself because they don't like the one song or they don't like the one little lead magnet that you've offered, I just feel like that's such a disaster. It's such a missed opportunity to go about your lead generation that way, when instead, if you can kind of drill down, you find the problem, find the symptoms, get the exact situation that's going on, and then sell a call where you can dive even deeper into it. And then by the time you get to the end of the call, now you can say, if you've liked what we've done so far, which is exactly on point with what they need, then we can do more of that. And when you make that shift, I think it's huge. I think that's a huge opportunity. So then the next question becomes, well, what would be a good lead magnet to offer? And so I've talked about the Google review app. Sometimes I do digital business cards, but you gotta see this next video over here where I have a little $10 website that pulls $5,000 and up clients with just a little $10 website that you can build in probably 5 minutes on WordPress. So check that out. Or if you actually want to see what we're using as our lead magnet in DoubleStack, I'll actually put a free training video that you can check out right here. We're doing these things called local spotlights. It's part of this local legends community. So check that out if you want to see what we're doing for pulling our local spotlights leads. Or check out this $10 website that pulls $5,000 clients. I think you're going to love it. I'll see you in just a minute.